So when it comes to Star Wars props, they are, whether it like the helmets, blasters, just other little trinkets, they are some of the most sought after and valuable props in movie collecting / movie auction history. Like a couple of years ago, there was a TIE fighter that sold for, I think, $1 million, $2 million. But also, I just love the history and seeing the nitty gritty details that have gone into these pieces, you know, whether it be just seeing how really asymmetrical the original Darth Vader helmet was, as well as the original, you know, vacuum form stormtrooper helmets, armor, just seeing how crudely made these pieces were. And I mean crudely made as in these weren't made in a factory by a robot. These were made by artisans. But I think the next level of prop appreciation are the lightsabers and the blasters from the original trilogy that were made utilizing real world pieces that actually exist. You know, these weren't made 3D rendered and printed and molded and cast. Well, some pieces were molded and casted, but they were molded off pre-existing pieces. So I think my biggest love has always been Alec Guinness's original lightsaber, just the pieces that it was made out of, like a balance pipe from a Rolls-Royce jet engine right to the other very end where they used a fucking tap handle, and in the middle you have like a rifle grenade and then a piece of a calculator. All these pieces combined to create one of the most iconic pieces of prop / sci-fi memorabilia. But today we are going to be talking about Han Solo's original blaster that in June is going under the hammer and what it's expected to sell for. Now, this isn't going to be the most expensive prop in prop collecting history. I'm pretty sure that goes to the ruby slippers that sold a couple of months ago for, I don't have it in front of me, but I'll pop it down here. But I think this is probably going to be one of the most expensive Star Wars props to go under the hammer. As far as I know, there could be others out there, some of you may know, but also delve into the history of Han Solo's blaster. Because like I said, I'm well versed in Alec Guinness's lightsaber hilt, the history of that, because I used to own a Roman's props hilt, which actually I want to buy once again because those kits are pristine. The dude has access to all the original make and model parts, and you can buy kits, you can buy ready-made ones and stuff like that, and they're good value. I had one years ago, I sold it to a collector here in Sydney, and I missed that fucking thing. But when it came to Han Solo's blaster, I didn't really know the ins and outs of the pieces used. I know the base was a pre-existing German gun. A Mauser? A Mauser? I don't know how to pronounce it. But then all the other bells and whistles and griblies? Is that the correct term? I'm probably going to piss off a lot of Star Wars prop experts, but I think it's Greeblies? It's a cute name. But also just a bit of confusing history with the original blaster. And again, this is where I need some of you to chime in the comments and help if you do know the history of these blasters, because they have aesthetically changed throughout the Star Wars films. But when it came to the original blaster, which is supposedly going under the hammer in June, I thought it had disappeared and all that was left were resin castings of that particular prop. But from what I can see, and the auction house that's going to be auctioning it off is Studio Auction. I haven't really been aware of their stuff. Like here and there, little things will pop up where someone will share a link and I'll have a look. But apart from that, you know, I don't really invest much time into looking at their stuff. But these are the guys that are going to be auctioning off the blaster. So here's a photo of the blaster. No full catalog details are up yet, nor photos, just this one particular one. So going back to the original prop and what it consists of and how it supposedly looks today, and also just the facts in terms of if this is indeed legit, because like I said, it was noted that the original prop from the 1977 film A New Hope was lost, and a second blaster was made with resin from the cast used for the first film. So I'm assuming they took a mold of the original hero one and then made resin castings. So of course the DL44's design is rooted in the German-made Mauser C96, a semi-automatic pistol known as the broom handle. So that is the base that they used for this blaster. And then you have a scope that was added on from a sniper rifle, and then the air conditioning vent on the front of the magazine came from a model airplane. Now looking at this photo here from Studio Auctions, it seems like that vent has since been removed, fallen off, been damaged. I have no idea. And the piece de resistance at the very end is that flash hider, which comes off a German machine gun. So again, very much like Alec Guinness's lightsaber hilt, just kit bashing these pieces together to create something so damn iconic. So again, I am very confused because I thought it was lost, but then a few years prior, and I'm talking like 2023, so somewhat recently, another blaster had sold at auction. So Han Solo's blaster from the original Star Wars trilogy became the most expensive prop gun sold at auction when it fetched a price in USD of $1,057,500. That is insane, man. So in AUD, you're looking at $1,685,750. And that was only a couple of years ago. But now, supposedly, this is a resurfaced blaster from the original 1977 Star Wars film A New Hope. It is expected to fetch between 2.5 million USD, which equates to 3,984,508 Australian dollars, or 3 million USD, which equates to 4,781,409 AU fucking D. That is insane, man. Obviously, the full catalog specs have not come out yet. This auction isn't until June, but this is what they're expecting this piece to fetch, which is just insane. So as far as my knowledge goes, some of you out there may have seen things sell for higher in terms of Star Wars props. To me, this seems like the most expensive Star Wars piece to ever go under the hammer. I'm not talking prop in general because that belongs to the Ruby Slippers as far as I know. But this is where I would love to hear your thoughts, guys. If you are a Star Wars prop aficionado, especially when it comes to the realm of Han Solo's blasters. Like I said, I'm more of a hilt guy, but I've always had a fond hit of nostalgia for Han's blaster and just appreciate the effort and the history behind it. You know, kit bashing these things together on a budget. You know, Lucas is essentially like to the prop guys, use what you got. They did it and they did it fucking well. So I'm going to be following this piece very carefully. When it goes under the hammer, we're going to check back in and see how it does, because holy shit, that is a big chunk of change. Love you guts, and I'll catch you in the next one.